G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steelhorse Station, Monday evening the 24th here in Oz. I'm guessing it's Monday morning in the UK and Europe, and around about midnight or so, maybe just after, depending on where you are in the US. Don't know if we've got any from there. We appear to have a couple of people in. John, it's great to see you out of hospital. Jason, I'm guessing because it's a holiday tomorrow, you were out early. Mark Haythornwaite is with us as well. So that is terrific. It's Anzac Day here tomorrow, so public holiday, quite an important day on the Australian calendar. Yeah, I can perfectly understand. I've had my own experiences with hospital Wi-Fi, and they're sketchy at the best of times. It's no good that they're having trouble getting to the bottom of your issues. I hope that will get sorted in due course. Now, let's see here. If we hit that button there, whoops, where am I? We're watching a truck. The bottom of the map. The other Jason is also in the house. Oh, we've got quite a full crew in. So just catching people back on. I was just in the process of getting various vehicles moving. So we are probably just as easy to look over here. Where are we? We're in the midst of two contracts. Field 28 we haven't started on, which is right next to our cow farm, and 25 is just a couple of fields over, but you can see we're 3/4 of the way through it. I have finished getting the grain off both of our fields and am in the process of doing some baling here. Where are we? Nearest waypoint. You should be good to go. Now, we're around here. We should have a harvester, I think. We'll come back here in a minute. I've loaded a couple of eggs on. That is exactly my plan. And before we go too much further, we won't finish the contract before we roll a day. So that's got a full tank. So it's waiting for vehicles to get back. So what we'll do. So I was having a bit of a look around here. So speaking of keeping the barley. So the first thing we discovered, and we did the maths last time, is these 19,500 storages are a little bit small. And I filled them all up, but even from our own fields, we've still got another 11,000 litres. I don't want to take it away to another silo and place it. And so one of the things that I think it was Cranky suggested was that we put another silo here which we can use, and I like that idea. And I started to have a look, and I just couldn't find anything. And then I sort of looked a bit closer at the building here, and I thought, you know, this would be a good situation to do a little bit of editing. And this silo, if we just did the works ourselves and doubled the capacity, we could put another silo across here. How hard might that be? And you'll notice I also put in some shelving for the bees, so that'll be enough for our beehives. So what I'm thinking we'll start with today is just what is entailed in expanding these chicken barns. So if you haven't seen it before, or if there's others who watch the stream that haven't seen it before, it turns out it's actually fairly easy. So we're going to save this right here. Now, of course, many things can go wrong trying to do this whilst live streaming, so we'll see how we go. I'm going to jump out of there and quit out of there for the minute and find my correct screen. That's going to send you black. Now, if I put my desktop up in just a second, when I have gone in here. So I'm going to walk through the steps exactly as I did it, just so people that know better than me can tell me what I did wrong, and those that have no clue can at least find a method that maybe they can follow along with. So your directory structure is going to be based on your own machine. In my case, my save games all live in my documents, and the save game we're working on is save game 2. The only reason I want to look here is I want to find out where those chicken sheds are, because there's two types of placeables on the map. Some are embedded and some are listed in here. And so if we open placeables.xml in Notepad++, and we do a search for the very imaginatively phrased chicken, we'll find down here that in fact our 4 chicken sheds are right here. And the reason that that's important is right here it tells me the name of the XML file that is being used for the chicken sheds. And that was important because I didn't know, I got lots of mods on this save and I didn't know which one the mod was sitting in. And as it turns out, I probably wouldn't have found it because the XML is called Kernick, but that's not the name in the mod. So we don't need to change anything in here because this tells us what the current fill levels are and everything else, but we need that address. So it's in the mod directory for the Oaks in the map, placeable scripts Kernick. So we can close him down for the minute and go back to my directory structure. And over here is where I, put all my games. And in a workbench over here, which I've shown you guys before, called the Oaks, is where I work on the map. Now, what you'll see, there's old versions that I keep in here, but there's a placeables directory, and in the placeables directory, which is, this is the address that we saw before, is a scripts directory. And in the scripts directory is the Kernick script right there. And so opening this up tells me two things. First of all, it actually tells me the mod, and more importantly, the i3D file that is those chicken coops right there in the base file name. And down here, it gives us the definition. If I'm paying attention, right here, the capacity for the husbandry, and the food capacity is currently 19,500. Now, one interesting thing, because this is embedded in the map, if I change it here, and I think I'm going to have to, then I will have to zip the map and replace it. But we won't do that first. We'll just leave that open for the minute. And go across to, and I've just conveniently, to make it easy. Oh, in fact, I've probably left the change that I want to use. Let's repeat it. So let's delete that. Except that I don't work on the map in the directory. Yeah, so I don't keep unzipped maps in my mod folder as a general rule, just because I'm always messing with things, and it just reduces the chance that I'll make a mistake. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to delete that extraction and come down here to, this is the directory where I work on mods, and we want to extract all of that. And I wasn't sure, but I found it safer to have and what I would say to people is having a process that you follow that works for you and you do it the same all the time is more important than one specific method. It's when you change the way you do things that you get in trouble. So now we're in my test stuff directory in an unzipped version of the chicken coop mod. And we know that the chicken coop on our map is the Koenig, and it's the Koenig i3D. And so we want to open this guy in Giants Editor. And what we'll see here is the barn with some pretty, just try and go forwards here so we can just get a bit better perspective of where we want to work. And so this is the area that I wanted to work on, and the first thing I observed is there's a ladder in the way. And if I can select the ladder just like so, comes up a lot of Polish written on the side here. This is the ladder I'm dealing with. Now I could delete that, but I thought, actually, you know what? Let's just move it to, whoops. Why is that not moving the ladder? Let's just go backwards. That is not moving the ladder because I haven't selected the ladder. No, that's still not moving the ladder. How interesting. Are you moving? Aluminium ladder, yes. That's the ladder. There's decals on the ladder. Okay, that's what I had selected. So I've now selected the ladder. And now when I slide it across, it moves. It's magic. So the only thing I need to remember to do at the end is come back and check that it's not just leaning in fresh air. And so I don't need the ladder itself. What I want to do, did I not undo what I changed? No. Okay, let's try that again. That's a good point, Mark. Okay, now I have the ladder. So it's always worth looking in your left-hand side to make sure that you're not selecting more than you want. And I'll just move him over here. And we'll correct him later to make sure he's not just leaning against fresh air. Now, the thing that I do want to duplicate is this little silo here. So if we come up, and it's conveniently called Farm Silo Small, I want the whole thing. So I'm going to go Edit, Duplicate, and it puts another one in. For convenience and to avoid confusion, I always give it a unique name. And so now when I pick the red arrow for this one, so the red arrow is going to keep all of my translations only operating in one direction. So it's at the same height. That's going to move it across. But looking at it, I sort of say, well, that's kind of interesting. I'd like it a little bit closer. And this ladder on the side is kind of not in a very serviceable area. So if I then picked the rotation mode, and it's a bit hard probably to tell, but the green arrow is the right direction. And I can potentially rotate it. Now, if I rotate it out, what you find is the spout for this is on the back and it actually goes through the wall. So I decided that actually, and if we go inside the building, oops, you can see that the maker has done a pretty good job. So he's got this access pipe and it kind of looks like it joins. Now it's not ideal and it's the physics probably aren't terribly representative, but I thought actually I don't want to mess with that. The position that it's arrived in is a pretty good one. So maybe the way I deal with it is just to go back to my farm silo and just move him across a bit. Now, the other thing that I want to do, because having seen the pipe work inside, I haven't got any pipe work on the outside. So there's a pipe down here somewhere, if I can get through the fence. This guy at the bottom, who looks pretty good. So if we duplicate him as well, and just give him a name and come around to the side here. This time it's the blue arrow. And I just want to move him across. I want to put him about halfway between because he's in the same plane as this guy. But what I want to do is stretch him. So I want to go into scaling mode and I want to stretch along that axis, which is still blue, but I've got a little blue box there. And so I just want to make him a bit longer. And I'll make him just a fraction longer than this side. Go back to my movement and find my blue arrow again and just move him back inside. So now I come out and look at my farm silo and actually just click on something else for a minute. I've now got a pipe all the way along joining my two silos. So the only thing I want to do here is go back to my ladder, if I can find it. There it is. And perhaps if we bring him out here a little bit so that he's leaning against the silo. Don't want him to disappear into the silo, but I do want him to be just inside the fence. So I think I've achieved that, maybe a fraction further. I'm not going to spend a long time studying it. And that's it. that's what I wanted to achieve. I've got 2 silos here now, so we can save this i3D file. Exit. When you always check the console. Sometimes it lags. Make sure you've got a saved message. Exit out of there. So now this is our chicken coop European, which of course we've changed. Now what I'm going to do, even though I don't think it'll have any effect, is this is the XML that belongs in the mod. And just for consistency, I'm going to make the change to the capacity, but I don't, well, we're 99% sure that this one isn't being read. This is as much as anything for if I use this somewhere else. So that's increased to 39,000, just double the capacity. We've now got 2 silos. I'm not going to make any other changes. I don't see any others that I need. So I can close you. This is the version that's in the map, the workbench map, and this is the one that I want to change. So I need to change you to 39,000, and by doing it this way, rather than exiting and reloading the map, the mod, it should retain all the product that I've got in it. It's just increased the capacity when the map reloads. And we want to save you. And we don't want to mess with you. And we don't want to reload that. So let's, no. So over here, I want to zip this guy up again. Copy, oops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to send to a zip folder. And that zip folder is going to be called fs22 underscore chicken coop European. I could be more sophisticated if I wanted to keep it separate and make it double capacity on all of those sort of things. And now I need to put this in the mod folder that I use. For the oaks. So, oops, not map testing. Mods. It's not mods either. It's called mod safety if I click the right spot. And the oaks. I was in test stuff. Chicken coop European. So I want to move this guy out of here into the oaks. And let's just, I'm never sure if it updates when you do that. Right. And the other thing we want to do to get our capacity, so that's the picture is now correct. And to get our capacity now correct, we need to go to my workbench map for the oaks and take, oops, all of those except for these old versions. As you can see, I've messed with this map a few times. We want to send you to a compressed folder. Which, with some logic that I've never understood from Windows, it manages to pick its own name. Hopefully people are following along. I recognise that several of you have got plenty of skills in this, so I probably haven't done anything particularly interesting from your perspective, but For some folks that watch It's New Ground, and we want to call this FS22_the_oaks. Oops. It's really important that the spelling is the same as copy to the oaks, paste, replace that one. And now we can go over to here. I just check that we're in the right directory and we can launch. And so now, if I've done it correctly and haven't monumentally broken everything, when we get into the game, we should have 2 silos. Whoops, let's try hitting the right button. 2 silos on the picture and extra capacity. Fingers crossed. It's always exciting. I did do one practice run yesterday to make sure it worked the way I thought it was going to work, so I'm hoping that helped. Almost there. Then the plan, having got this correct, is to roll over the day. So let's go and have a look. We should immediately see that at 19,000, the first positive sign is the capacity is only half full, whereas that chicken coop one was filled up before. And if we duck across, pick one of those, visit that, and ta-da! We have 2 chicken coops. Look like they've always been connected that way. Pipe leaning against them. Don't believe I've broken anything inside. It even comes through the wall and connects on just like the original one. So there you go. And now when we come around and grab our trailer full of grain, you can see I bought a couple of flatbed trailers. Felt we needed. Oh, I might. What am I trying to do here? My wheel is gone. Mushy on me. Oh, for goodness sake, that's why. These software providers that just update their software on a whim. Right, now I have a wheel back. So we can zip around here. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. That looks all right. Looks like it should be there, and all 4 buildings are exactly the same. Now, the thing we need to figure out, and I was going to put it to chat. Right, obviously I've done that as a software fix. What price? Yeah. Funny you should say that, Mark. I was just thinking that as we as I tried to back the trailer in. So what Mark's talking about is the trigger on this is, it's actually fine if you're approaching it from front, but trying to get it from this side with these trailers is problematic, which I'm currently doing a wonderful job of demonstrating, because the wheelbase just doesn't work. There we go. But at least now we've got capacity here for another 60,000 litres of grain, plus whatever it'll take to fill this up. So the contracts that we're doing, can I pull up the trigger view? Let me try and find an angle that you can see it. I'll go into the other truck. Oh no, we can see it while I'm out of the vehicle. So the box isn't too bad, but getting this, where's the center of the trailer, getting it to break the plane is just a little bit tricky. So what I needed to do was what needs to happen is it needs to extend this way and this way, and then it would be fine. Now, was there anything else that you wanted to look at with trigger view, Jason? There's lots of boxes on here at the minute. Yeah, so it's just where it's positioned on the. If I was designing the shed to go in this situation, I would have thought about moving this whole shooting match back this way, and turn that box so that it was sideways, so facing out towards this way. It's no biggie. And with a different trailer, it would be a little bit easier. This trailer's got a bunch of benefits because the wheels are set back, but when you're trying to wiggle the back into a tight trigger like that, it's also got a couple of things that work against it. So anyway, that's where we're up to. So we'll send you back. In fact, you can go now to just drive to, not you to deliver, drive to field 25 wait will do. And I think we'll head back to the house and roll over the day. I think that's all we needed to do. We're at 7 in the evening, so I just wanted to do that, and I'm also keen to keep the pace of our progress through time progressing. So no worries, John. So let's roll forward. Now, a shout out to Mark Haythornwaite here. I haven't included it for today. Oh, Leroy is the highest bidder, 293,000. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So one of the things that we've been doing, and we've talked about a few times, is every day I try and remember to take 7,500 off the loan. I now have a very crude first working version of a very simple mod that Mark helped me with, that what are we on, 787,500. That will have the effect, if I've got my numbers correct here, there we go, we took 7,500 off. That will have the effect of doing that transaction for us when we roll the month, and it will only do it once a month if we're in 2 or 3 day months. So I've got that bit working. The reason I haven't implemented it is ultimately I want it to take some real estate on the bottom of this screen, because I don't use these two fields, so I have to now merge what I've done with the bank management mod And we might just think about the layout here because it sort of belongs up in the principal section. But we'll move some of these buttons around because I want it to be, you to be able to enter in how much your monthly repayment is. And I'd also like to include a field so that our wages, instead of having to use our drums against the wall over here, to actually have a field that you can enter your wages into and have it deduct those every day. So I'm getting close. We're just not quite there yet. Now, what I was going to look at, so over, where is it? It's either field 52 or 53. Oh, which one's the cornfield? Field 52 it is. So just here is the auction. And so this field is currently going for 307,000. And the reason that it is interesting is it's quite close to our farm. It's arguably in the land parcel that we might want to own in the future. It's a pretty good size field, and if you compare it to 49, for instance, at 1.1, if we were able to get it sub £500,000, that would be amazing. So currently you can't tell, well, you can't easily tell with the mod running, because if you click on it like I have here, it shows you the current auction price. If we look at the area is 43 acres, that's why I looked at 49. So that's very similar, and that's 1.1 million. 36 acres at 900,000. 32 acres at 796. So it's less than half price. Yeah, that's true, Jason. To be honest, given that it took me a whole day and about an hour of Mark's time to get just a little bit going so far, I hadn't done much thinking about how I want to do the next bit. So, but at least now I have some semblance of understanding of what I'm doing. So my rationale was that just the corn alone on there through our silage would generate the income to pay for the land and still have money left over. Yeah, at the moment, the mod is called Bank of Steel. I thought elders might get annoyed if I borrowed their rural finance, but certainly something in the rural finance line is what I have in mind. And potentially it would be kind of nice to link it to a building. So that you have a little stock and station agent or something like that that also offers you a finance product. That's kind of the idea I've got in my head. Anyway, so that's bringing everyone up to speed. So now we should get everything restarted again, because otherwise we'll never get any work done. Why did you stop manually? Oh, you're all right. We don't need you. I'm not using you. That's why you're parked in the shed. Okay, we've got trucks waiting somewhere. Oh, you're at F20. What's happening here? Let's try again. Getting myself confused. So you're going... Oh, right. It's because I started you before. There we go. Somewhere up here, we should have... harvester. Must take those eggs. You can't do anything until the trucks arrive. And we've probably still got another couple of truckloads before we need to worry about where the grain is actually going to. So let's just turn you on. You're just going to sit there and wait. You're down at British Sugar. You have actually finished. Okay. Couple of piles over here. We certainly get the rest of that bale out. And there may even be bales in the other corner. So we've got plenty of straw. I'm sort of thinking a trailer load of straw to our shed to mix for the cows, and the rest will sell when the price is right. Where are we going here? Just get you. How much is that big load over there? So I'm feeling like we're starting to... I can turn you off, actually. Make it a little bit easier to see what's going on the screen. The question is, are the corners going to give me a whole straw bale? I think it's worth driving a lap just to make sure. Okay, I've sent the truck to the wrong weight point. Oh, sorry, I sent the truck to the right weight point. I don't think I've got the harvester set to that weight point. I did an experiment trying to get the little auger wagon. That's why the little auger wagon is on the mid-size tractor, to see if I could use it on the field, but it's not tall enough to load the Randon trailer on the truck, which is a shame. Yeah, we are going to have enough for a bale, so this was a worthwhile little excursion. So the other thing we need to do now is get our, and I'll use the auger wagon, I think, to do this, is start the other harvester on our canola field, which, looking over the top of the church there, is ripe and ready to go and is going to take some harvesting, I think. 57%. How many times can I drive around that piece of straw? Many is the answer. Hope everyone had a good weekend. We are experiencing some gorgeous mid-autumn weather here at the moment. So bright and sunny. Our visiting niece and my son have gone to the football tonight. So that'll be a big experience for her because it's a big Anzac Day game. So they have all the ceremony, or Anzac Eve game. We're only 70%. Maybe I'm not going to quite get there. %. We'll try the last corner. I think the Grand Prix Circus is back this coming weekend in Baku, if I'm not mistaken. Come on, get that last bit. Gonna need some net wrap as well. Not that we'll have any more bales to do for a little while. There we go. 91. Don't you dare. 98. That'll do us. So for those that enjoy Griffin, there will be a Griffin episode out. Should have finished YouTube processing by the time the stream is done, so that will be available for people at their leisure. That's where I put the harvester. Okay, so he's all ready to go there. Let's bring you around. Put you out of the way for now. Oh, we've got some more grass to cut there. Feels like the grass grows very quickly on this map. Maybe it's just my... oh, that one. No, that's fully grown. Maybe it's just because I'm playing month, and on all the other maps we play, I played 2 days. That could be it. I think at some point fairly soon we'll need to go to 2-day months. So maybe we do. Great racing, terrible weather. Often terrible weather makes for great racing. Oh. That's funky. I didn't expect it to auto fit chompers to the end of the header. Hadn't seen it do that before. Chompers being my name, no intention of whatever the technical name for them is. Now, what I'm thinking here is we know Courseplay has conniptions of sorts on canola knives. There you go. Guess that makes sense, seeing as we're in canola and all. I'm thinking we might need to do the first headlands, but we're not going to get anywhere near all the way around this field. Well, the other harvester has figured itself out, so I've obviously got at least one truck unloading the other harvester, so that's a good sign. And it looks like my trailer and auger wagon have managed to unload British sugar, so probably as soon as I get this full, need to intercept that. I don't think its route will bring it past here. I'll probably go and look. The field of ripe canola looks wonderful. I think the percentage... You think the percentage is added at harvest time? Okay. Well, in that case, we should get a sense of it at based on the yield map that we're cutting, because whilst it might not be a precise edge, it should show up on the yield map, yeah? So we'll see if we see any sort of semicircular patterns extending out from the field that look a bit different to elsewhere. It should start to become, if we're going to see anything, it'll start to become evident on like the third headland, I would have thought, given it's such a small amount. It'll just be a really minor shading gradation. Yeah, so if I'm understanding you correctly, Mark, you're suggesting it's kind of like the mechanic that increases the yield on forage grass. Same concept. Just adds it to your tank sort of thing. Right. I'm not familiar with Bushel Plus, but I understand. It's looking like we're going to get about 2/3 of the way around here. Okay. Very interesting. I spent a little bit of well, it's not really real life, but I'm trying to be at least moderately inspired by real life. I spent a little bit of time this afternoon trying to populate the new Agco dealership on Silver Run the way I imagine it an Agco dealership might look. I'm gonna have enough room up here to get a, maybe not, I might need to do a course play-esque cut in. Okay, so the other harvester is full. Never know, if we're really lucky, we'll make it just to the spot by our pen. But I don't think we're that lucky. Imagine those canola knives sitting up there like that actually make it much easier. We might try in cab shortly. Right. Let's just let you sit there and think about it for the moment, and let's try and find a vehicle. Sitting back over here. What I should do actually is send you back for the canola. That's what I should have done in the first place. Which means you need to go to yes, go right ahead. Mod hub links to things that people ask about are always useful. What am I looking for here? Putney cows. I don't want Putney cows. I want main yard. Let's go to. Can you get out of there? Looks like you think you can. You're waiting, so that's all right. You've got eggs to deliver. You're having a rest. Although we could. No, we've got enough stuff going on here. How many people? We've got 6 folks working, so it's plenty. You've got more eggs to load a bit later. We'll use you. So what I found worked quite well with. Get out of the way. Really? Get out. $10% extra on a contract. That sounds a bit cheaty. But I guess, so I presume what it's doing is somehow processing the more efficiently the crop coming off the header. Is that the sort of the concept behind it? Where are we on the map? Up there. So I want you to go the other way. Yeah, there is a left-hand lane there. Stop. Stop. Gotcha. So it's kind of like tuning your header based, or your harvester based on measurement of actual output in the moment, rather than just blindly cutting the crop. Marshall and the Stroutman. So the trailers that I picked up are not there. They're up here in trailers. So we have a Marshall. We have this dinky lizard, and then we have the Randon. And I'm finding the Randon looks pretty good behind our truck. And then I also picked up two one. Where are we? Bale trailers. Bale trailers. Bale trailers. I picked up the forestry back for the D754, which you can take the forestry poles off, and that gives us a flat back. So that's just a tray truck now that'll do our egg deliveries quite nicely. And then if we get a bigger trailer of something, what I'm looking for is bale loaders. I got we already had this crappy tandem, but I also picked up the Marshall, but in black. And the only thing I don't like about the Marshall is that low attacher is just a bit hard to deal with. But that's pretty much where we're at. Looks like the truck's found its way to the harvester at the other end there, so we can go back and find this guy. We don't get that straw. It's not our field. That's a contract, and I don't have straw from contracts on. Otherwise, yes, that's exactly what I did on. You might have noticed on the field I was baling just a second ago. I'd run the windrow around there too, and that made a huge difference. Made it so much quicker. So yes, definitely an excellent suggestion. Thank you. It should be now coming down here. So we might want to intervene and bring him down this way. We'll see which way he goes at the corner. Oh, I'm just going to come round past the bale guys anyway. So that's all right. There are plenty of, if we get on top of what we're doing, we've still got heaps of harvest contracts available to choose from. So, and a $91,000 liming contract. But yeah, so no shortage of contract activities. The wheat in field 60 looks pretty good. That's a 6-hour job. Where have you gone now? Why do you not look like you're where I think you should be? Oh no. You are doing the right thing. You're coming around the corner in the correct spots. So... sorry about that. A few bushes in the face there with all these trees have grown back. We'll wait for him to get a little bit further along. And it'll be actually interesting to see whether he goes right up here or continues. Oh, I've sent him to our yard, so he'll continue on. That's all right. So it shouldn't be too long before we finish field 25. Just keeping an eye on it to make sure we've got the turn you off and take over. And we can zoom up here. So we'll just intercept as soon as we know we've done on 84 so that we can then put the grain in our chuggins. Plenty of fields here need harvesting, so we should no shortage of jobs that we can take on around the immediate vicinity. Now I should have gone in. Those trees might be a problem. Let's see. Bugger it. Let's just go the long way around the field. That way we'll come back up behind the harvester. Given that I made the mistake of running it to 100% and I didn't cut in. Did grab an interesting beehive mod which we'll look at some point. Just pause for a second. So this one here, so it's a pack of beehives. My understanding is you place this, but then you can actually move the beehives to where you want them, which I thought was really cool. So I'm intrigued to see how it works. There's a couple of oddities. So the 7-piece version is this guy at 40,000, but the 10-piece version is only 30,000. But I thought in terms of concept, much closer to how I understand bees work. in reality, and much more practical if you're rotating your crops, you know. So if we don't put canola in this field next time, then we're unlikely to get any direct crop benefit from the bees because they're not going to pollinate anything. I'm certainly not putting potatoes in this field anytime soon. We're gonna get up there. We might just squeak in. And climb over the tractor to get into the harvester. And the auger hopefully won't reach. Yeah, it will. Come on. Over there. You gotta be over the trailer, surely. There you are. So is it bingo today, John? Or are you still convalescing? Fold you up. I'm hoping, as when we get back around, second headland, we might be able to pop him off on his own with any luck. The yield's pretty good along here, that's for sure. Lovely. I spoke too soon, change your soil type. Jump. Yeah, those knives are kind of handy where they sit to keep an eye on the edge of the header. Not that it's too bad from in cab. Takes a bit of practice. I need more practice. So how many of you folks are using the Govile pack at all? I haven't yet bought it, and so I was going to wait and see. It hasn't struck me as adding. Well, the thing that is causing me to think about it is the ability to make the extra bale types, but beyond that I haven't been too fussed about it. The actual equipment itself is interesting without being compelling. And I was interested to see Virtual Farmer use the first piece of it in one of his episodes, might even have been today, and it surprised him because it only made little bales, and it's kind of like, well, it doesn't add much. Yes, I'm really enjoying Silver Run, but not for the forestry. The series that I'm doing on there, building the farm, I'm having a lot of fun with. The forestry, I could take or leave it, like the ability to do it and you know, clear and have a few different pieces of equipment other than what I would have tried before, and slightly better mechanics I like, but not too fussed about it. But Silver Run as a map is interesting. Spoiler alert, the roller coaster burnt down. Oops. I'm thinking it's going to make a pretty interesting skate park and BMX track for the local kids. That's my kind of intention. I'm kind of running into the limits of what I can do. Unfortunately, for reasons that make no sense to me at all, Giants only include 6 textures or 8 textures with the map. So, and not even all the textures they use on the map. So trying to landscape anywhere and make it look half reasonable is very hard. And fully a third of the map, even though I can get the buildings off it now that I've figured that out, I can't. The land is defined, but I don't know how it's defined, and so I can't get control of it in order to be able to farm it, which is a bit annoying. Now, what am I trying to do? I am trying to go here and create a job, field position. I need to change a setting. I could do it in 2 halves, couldn't I? Of course. Where is it? Expert mode. There's elective courses. Prefer custom fields, deactivate. Now let's try. That's better. 5 headlands. Start work on the headlands. Smooth corners. Generate the course. Nearest waypoint would be perfect. And you are now on field 68. Are you not? Yes, you are. Wait. You weren't on the course I thought you were on. Let's just stop you there. Get out of the cab. Let's try that again. Turn around. Try stop harvesting the hedge would be a good idea. There we go. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Jason. I didn't make an informed decision to buy it. Last year I bought the season pass just because I was new and I thought it was a good thing to do, and I was enjoying, and I'm still enjoying the game. This year I haven't raced out and spent the money quite so quickly. Let's go there. Nearest. I hope you're on the right track this time. Right. Now, you need to be field 68. South. Of course you can't. Unload combine. Well, that was a nice pickup. Let's see here. Let's zip you around. So then you'll be on the field. And I don't have a path into our silo, do I? Which is slightly problematic. Didn't do a very good job from in-cab driving down here. One day in the future I might be able to get to the point where I can do giveaways and things. That'd be nice. I think that'd be fun. So 68 South is the one we'll use. We get in here, set you to for the minute. I'm waiting to see what the next one is, and what we might do is pop out. Have I got crop destruction on? We're about to find out. Yes, I have. Let's not drive up there. Got a sneaking suspicion getting this. Oh, we might be able to get it to deliver to our silo. Our silo down here might be a little bit squeezy to get into, but we'll find out in a second. Yeah, let's... how do we want to do this? Let's have a look. Come in that course there. You... Oops, back up. You to there. This is doing this the hard way, but we'll see how we go. Farm Sim Brisco, welcome along. Just don't mind me for a second. I'm just hard way doing a reversing auto drive course to try and deliver my grain. Normally I would do this without the trailer on. But I can potentially straighten it up later. We are doing a couple of reasonable size harvests. Okie dokie. That'll do for the minute. So this is Putney vineyard silo unload. Okay, we'll start overloading canola, and then we'll drive out of there. And around here like so, onto stop that and connect you onto there, and then you should be able to go to field 68. You want to unload combo to Putney main yard silo unload, correct? Off you go, champ. Rightio. That is a very busy auto drive yard, and I've probably connected it to the wrong spot. I need a a little bit of course rationalization. It's evolved like Topsy, but surprisingly it does work. Now, oh, let's get you out of here. That's why everything stopped on this side. Right. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on. Don't do that. Has the combine run out of fuel or something equally annoying? Oh no, you're just full. Right. So you do want to do that. That's better. And then we go back to you, because that's what you're here for. Farm Sim Brisco, we'll duck up the chicken yard in a minute and I'll just give you an idea what we've done up there. Very minor, but it's right at the start of the stream. We went through and graded the capacity on the chicken pens. Just get this combine unloaded. It's nothing super dramatic, but I'm quite pleased with how it looks. Almost. This will only take a second to fill. This little auger wagon actually pairs quite well with this harvester because you get almost 2 full loads out of the harvester, and as you can see, it only needs a little tractor to pull it, so it's fairly effective. It's just that it can't the auger's not big enough to transfer to a truck. So you'd need to get clever about a conveyor to make it work with the truck, which we could do. And we might do that sometime in the future. A bit of an experiment. How much have we delivered on the contract? Very good question. I'm tipping that this truckload will take us, the truckload we've just dispatched will take us into the 90s. I think from memory a full truckload was delivering about 6 or 7%. So let's get you out of the way. And you're on the wrong one. Let's go and have a look at these chicken coops just in case. This Farm Sim Brisco is probably at work and on a break. So all we did was we just added a second silo. So nothing terribly dramatic. But what it now means is we've got 39,000 litres instead of 19.5. I think it came up pretty well, sits right in there. We've also got some beehives over there, but that was all it was. Take a look at the details of the contract. I can do that. So we have 298,000 still I'm not looking at the right one. We've delivered 256. Yeah, so we've got 61 to go. How much is in that truck that I've just sent? $30. So another truckload after this. Unless you're just ill. I hope you're feeling better if you are ill. Mildly hungover. Is that the conclusion? You just wanted to get in some quality map making time without interruption. Yes, happy birthday for last weekend. It was a big one, wasn't it? Did I hear on a stream? A 5-0 or something similar? Or have I got you confused with someone? You're 50 now. There you go. Well, congratulations. That's coming along. Ah. Oh, yes. Very good, Mark. My 50th was 8 years ago. What am I doing? I don't want to be in there. You're waiting for him to fill, which we'll go and sort out now. Birthday wanker. Very good. Yeah, it's looking like it. My hope is that we'll fill up the fill up all of the chicken coops with their expanded capacity. Oh, that was the question I didn't finish asking. I lost my train of thought before. So how much should we pay? Because I did all of those edits, we didn't actually place a placeable silo for the extra capacity at the chicken coops. What is the consensus view of a reasonable deduction to cover the upgrade of adding those little silos to each of the 4 sheds? Okay, that's now full, and I'm actually going to send you because you'll tip into those quite nicely. Yolks, chicken coop, 1. Oh, jeez. The bank manager doesn't want me spending any money. Maybe they should have, but I feel like we did do the modification and say $12.50 each, so that'd be a $5,000 deduction. I haven't I'll just get this going before I pick up and deliver. I don't want to do pick up. I just want to go to deliver to... yeah, come on. It would be really nice to have 2 tiers of sell points. Go to chicken coop, 1 food. It is, but we're a small operation. We've just got 5 children. They don't get into as much trouble running the New Hollands, and it matches what we've got on our own farm. We're up on field 25 here. Yes, that's the sawmill there, isn't it? Yep, that's correct. So at the moment we've got... oh, why are you driving through the field? Really? Yeah, upgrades are coming, but we've got our own... the original TX is doing our canola, and for this year we added another one, so now we've got a pair. So ultimately, as soon as we get the canola in, we'll have finished getting our own crop off, and then the idea is we'll have a pair of them to tackle a couple of the remaining contracts. That's the idea anyway. And they work pretty well. They just keep chugging away. They're also quite useful for getting the auto drive stuff working. Yeah, so it's a matching set. It'll make for some good shots, and there's no way the farm could have afforded more current units and bigger capacity, so this was just a good way to step in. Let's turn you off there. We can put... where is the net wrap? I gotta wait till it's emptied. It's the one thing about the net wrap in this bale, you can't top it up. You gotta actually wait till it runs out and then refill it, which I guess is realistic, but I did I did think about taking the contract. I think we've got a contract on there at the minute. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's gone. What crop's in it? It hasn't. Maybe it's coming. But no, it's not my plan to do field 5 with just 2 of these. That's exactly right. It's just like having 2 Triumphs or... doing 8 times oaks. I'm not feeling the need. So I'm loving playing this map, and my experience has been I've had some really good fun on standard maps, but I think I really like 4x maps. I think they're a really good balance between size and variety, and I liked the way Ola did Renaboo, or is doing Renaboo. But I reckon 4x works really well, and the problem is that so many map makers don't even finish setting their 2x map up properly, or their normal map up properly. What am I trying to do with this? I feel like you should be putting a... tedder, bale loader, weeder. We do not own a mulcher. We haven't looked in the sales today. What have we got here? Little tanker. He's a bit big for us, but he would be useful. Seed treating liquid. I wonder, will that go on the TX32? Doesn't tell me how many horses it requires. It'd just be handy to have a corn header. I might experiment. But that's all we need from there for the minute. We do need a mulcher though. I'm pretty sure. What have we got hiding over here? Oh, that's the Hirsch Joker. Oh, it's only sunflowers. Okay. In that case, that's of limited application for us. Thank you. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, it does look different to corn. But some corn headers will do both, right? So these ones will do both, but yeah, very confusing. Let's have a look at mulches here. What's that? Crappy roller at 3.5. It's take all day. It's a power at 6, but it's 200 horses. It really is hard to go past this guy. And I don't have the Katrina on here. A 6 at 110. I haven't used one of those before. Is this designed to connect to something? It can operate as a mower. I reckon we might give one of these a whirl. Let's buy you. Okay. I'll do you 110 horses. Which tractor are you? You are the 5465, so you can go and pick it up. Or do I put it on the back of the truck, actually? That'd be smarter, wouldn't it? Because it doesn't look like it folds. Oh, maybe it folds. No? Yes. Does it fold? Possibly. We'll find out when it gets there. And the Capello are universal. Okay, cool. I suppose 20,000 for the ability to do sunflowers isn't a bad thing. It does fold. Excellent. And so we want you to go to Putney Farm. Delivery. Lovely. You've been filling up fairly successfully. We'll find out in a minute if you're capable of unloading as well, I guess. Five, 6. 93%. Back to Mark's question. 32. So basically a truckload to go. Truckload and a little bit. So that'll be a handy little drop. You're on. You've come to the right spot. You're just facing the wrong way. So we'll just drop you. Oops. Don't hit the air conditioner. There we go. Now put you out. Yeah, I see. Let me guess, you're not in the... Oh, you cow. That's why. That's better. So annoying. It got me like that before. Wish I could control 3 pieces of help text that I don't want that crowd out stuff that I do want. Well, particularly the way that they need to do it is just over in this menu, just to have a checkbox for help not required. Yes, yeah, that would also do. I thought I had one stage, but it doesn't it didn't work the way I thought it was going to. Put you back. Come back with a bucket at some point and sort that out. Let's have a look at our chickens. How are they going? We haven't investigated. We don't have any productions. So we've got a bazillion chickens coming along. They must be starting to reproduce. Yep. And they're producing eggs. A couple more months. I don't see any reason to spread any into coops 3 and 4 until we've filled the capacity, or we're losing the ability to populate. So 414 in there and 302 in there. So 2 more populations. Yes, I need it. I just need the bucket because I actually... Oh no, I took the front loader back, didn't I? The front loader is over at the cow farm. Never mind. You can go to... back to field 25. Friend. The body's full. 25 north. You can stop there. There's the bucket. Let's just check the cows while we're here. Plenty of food, plenty of water, and they're not making milk because they're on the young'uns. Well, you're starting to make some progress through the canola. Where's a good place to sell eggs? Because we could send our man... Oh, while I think of it, Mark Hathornwhite, you need to send Virtual Farmer a couple of messages telling him how to actually use your tool. He now does have it on his saves, but he doesn't, it just doesn't compute that he can actually use it to find out answers to questions that he has when he observes things. So what was the last one I saw? Oh, that's right. He's got some silage bales. Oh, yeah. Felling elms. Elms and oaks are just horrid. But yes, he's got some bales and he thought he put them all in with the cows and it's telling him he's got 60,000 litres more. And I'm sitting there watching the stream on replay and going, well, just show the locations. It'll tell you exactly where all your bales are. He didn't get there. I don't think it takes much to get him distracted. He's quite an excitable chap. Now, what am I looking for here? We've got buckets of silage, which is good. I'm looking for eggs because... Oh, and I fixed the bug with the medium-sized pallet warehouse. For a guy that likes realism... He has no qualms about a few qualms about unrealistic trailers, trailers that don't actually register weight, all those sort of things. And it's just a shame because I really enjoy watching his stuff, but every now and again it's like, well, it's like this same stream, you know, he bought the he was spreading lime, and so he took the Kubota spreader and what are you doing in there? I have to apologise to the vicar. Got no idea why he's doing that. Oh yes I do, because that point is not on that. We'll fix that in a minute. Because he's now going to get stuck down here, I think. Must remember that I left my header trailer there. I know I did put a turn in here. But can you get around? Yes, you can. Yeah, so put the Kubota 42 meter spreader on and then expanded the capacity to 10 to 10,000 litres or 10 meters, and it's like, seriously? No weight on the front of your tractor and you think that's a real deal? Right. Fix that when he comes back. Well, actually, we get to go and watch and see if he can successfully reverse into the silo. Probably parked right in the middle of the road. We'll just move you back out of the way. So in 10.5 hours time we are on Newlands, and we've got a pretty busy day because we need to finish foraging the corn so that we can get the field prepped and the canola in, because the planting window for canola closes. That looks like that's going to work fairly well. Almost. Spoke too soon. You need to be in the middle. Oh, okay. I need to do it from this side, and I need to do that. It's hard to do, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh, come on. Spatially not working. And because it's a placeable, I can't use the little trick of hiding it with map object hider. because it'll just try and sell it. What might happen? Try it in a second. I may be lying. Which stream? Friday night UK time, so 2 days ago. I was watching it yesterday on the Oaks. It's quite interesting because he's moved into the cow farm. Now let's just yeah, see, it'll sell the storage. It won't let me. You sure it won't let me hide the? Well, it won't let me hide the building, which is just a bit of a booger. Whereas if it was just a regular shed, it might. Now. Right. So let's just recommence you. Actually, what we'll do, get out of the yard. Now, that's the one I want to be using. So instead of 68S, I want to be using .68 forage pickup weight. And then I've got to go and find. It's not, it's a Twitch stream. Sorry. And he does republish them on his Virtual Farmer 2 channel. But he'll be a week or 2 or 3 or 4 behind. But yeah, you'll find it on Twitch TV. I watch his Oak streams there. What am I trying to do here? Let's get you out of there. Off you go. You jump out of there because you're obviously in the way. And then we want to go back to field 68 because I've now got the harvester. There he is. Into the vehicle. You need to be set to get him. Okay, I give up. Where are you trying to get to? Oh, right. You're going across the field. Right, you are working. Ooh. Yeah, he is. He's the realism experiment is all on Twitch. Yes, John, you are quite correct. We are at 198 subs. Let's just interrupt there. Where are we up to? We might supervise this truck delivery ourselves, seeing we're getting very close. Field 25. It's still 32,000 litres, right? Good job, Farm Sim Brisco. You would have had a heap of map downloads too, wouldn't you? Turn you off. There's only 600 waypoints left on this harvester, so that's okay. This whole truckload will fit in the sell point, so 20,000 downloads of a map that where you didn't have the following to start with, I think is an amazing performance. Just goes to show you how good this map is. Oh, well done, Mr. Haythornwaite. 80,000 downloads is not too shabby. What do you have to get to before for Giants to send you a plaque or something? Although I understand they get way behind on their sending plaque stuff. Is 100k anything, or do you have to get up to like 1 million? Now what I was going to do, I was in the right spot. It's a mill. I don't want to take that over there. You obviously got some out, so you're chuffing along. And you're good, and that's where I want to be. So we had one there. So for those that hadn't caught up on it, we bought ourselves a little Kubota to do the egg loading thing. Oops. Still fairly tight in here. I will learn to do it from in cab. Should probably be easier than what I'm currently doing. Why is that? Odd things. blue. Let's try this in cab and see how ugly this is. Surprisingly responsive, this little Kubota. And just new out of fraction, down. And can at least see the tips of the forks, which is not bad. You've only got to look at how many maps there are that just frankly aren't finished, including, in my view, things like Silver Run. I was saying, I think just before you came in, you know, the Silver Run's only got half a dozen textures, so, and they're not even all the ones that are on the map. So if you're trying to do any landscaping, you can't even replicate and make it blend in properly. It's just ridiculous. Okay, this is not too bad to use from inside. I don't know what it's like to watch. At least I can kind of see what I'm doing. I think with a bit of practice I could muster it. That's probably enough eggs for this load. Yep. This little truck will do us all right for a little while. Was there any... There's not enough honey to worry about. And I know where the sell point is. Yeah, the way I kind of think about that sort of question, Farm Sim, whoops, I'm on the wrong side of the road, is for me it's a bit like a house. Lots of people buy a house and then want to renovate it before they've even lived in it. I can see some parallels with, you know, the creative work in building a map. And I think what you're doing currently, which is actually playing the map you built, is the best way to prepare for any intention to maybe do another date in the future, because by playing it, you get to actually experience how it works. Now, where am I? Speaking of which, on the map, I am down here. No, I'm not. I'm here and I want to go right. I have a broken item that's going to repair. That, do you know which one it was? How do I work in the field? Work in the field. It's not you. It's got to be the truck. Where is he? I cannot see the other truck. Okay, let's do it this way. Ah, there he is. He's stuck. I thought I turned that off. Corner speed, cycle, automatic repair, automatic refuel. No. Automatic refuel, automatic repair. No, thank you. Right. Yeah, you need emptying. If you give people a choice, they'll say yes, please, to all of those options. But I would say it depends a lot. Oh, come on, really? Fuck's sake. I think people would, based on the number of members of the community I've heard express the desire to play maps from previous versions, I'd say there'd be a lot of interest in having it go forward. But I think part of that decision you won't actually make. Like, you might have a whole bunch of ideas and you might think about it, but until you see what the functionality that comes with FS25 is, you wouldn't want to make that decision, I wouldn't have thought, because you might decide that it's just too hard or it doesn't work properly, depending on what they change. So the TGS should just have enough grain in it to finish the contract, I think. Not quite. It'll be like 1,000 litres short. Unless we get some rounding. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Exactly. And what do they do to textures and, you know, listening to Ola in a couple of places I've seen him recently, including he popped into Virtual Farmers streaming at least one night a week. Making a map not far from the Oaks, apparently, for where he grew up on his dad's farm. And Ola was suggesting that there are a bunch of under the covers things that are being worked on currently that are likely to emerge in FS25. I think one of the biggest things will be at some point they've got to decide that they're not going to bring the older versions of consoles forward, and once they do that, then they introduce the possibility of a lot more features for Xbox and PS5 users. Well, you never know. Maybe I'll have learnt something and I can give you something of relevance to include in one of your maps. Well, I've gone a little bit over time because I was trying to get this contract finished. But I think we're at a point where I need to stop, given it's just coming up to 10 o'clock and I'll be streaming again in 9 hours time. So I think at this point I will just say thank you very much everybody for watching. Remind you all that in 9 hours we'll be back on Newlands. If for anyone that's around, I'd love to have you join me. If not, we'll be back on Friday my time on here. So until then, stay safe, have a good week everyone, and have fun. See ya.